pay volume no say wa shop ni mu TV wa shop no ma bia bi ka ho because na de e beje ta e wa ha na ya wa topics be tu ana me ensa bia ye be make sure say ye be discuss ansa na yetimi asori ye nyina ye nim say obi kra do ka wontumi na ne ka papa because yentimi access accounts yentimi access bibia internet na ye bibia ho enso ye say nka ba Ghana ha e ba no digitalization a ye number 1 just say the whole world and no any other boy and host for him a banner digital dia don't go there. And I mean say digital no why and nya dia. E ya dia nyo dia so de. Ene ye ne. Enti ene e be discuss say internet na anwe na si ayentimi nya bibia say we se ati ase say o wiase na internet free wiase a ye be banye. And na afa so freedom say nyame ye na domonto abama no. Oh, Monto Obama, especially Ashanti region, quite a man to Obama, Cheddar man, because ye free be and Kumasi nearby a simple nail crum was one who be creative pool. Ewo Kumasi. Well, I'm from Fansan down. What about dredge, no some inside the team, and I brought for the young Korean ye. I will dredge the sea. Hey, okay, innocent. And would you have on the sassy?
Oh, I think the internet issue now
and they are present.
Very, very important. The dika I mention what here for. And I mean, say, we stage we as a woman there. Internet abaye indispensable in all aspects of our life, social, economic, politics, religious, every aspect. Be you rely on internet because world APC at a very fast rate. So one position. To be competitive in the world that is emerging. So here out there, even most advanced countries, are looking forward. I am a PP into the future. Sabaya me I remain competitive in the world tomorrow. And see, apart from say I must serve the needs of today, I'm not taking a peep into the future, just trying to pry on the future and see the needs and acquire first a bit in your position. But unfortunately, so we are part of the world that. The problem I want to say we've always been reactionary. Because then you see this knee-jerking approach, trying to do something just to create an impression. So at least, baby. Because over the years, has it ever occurred to us? Say internet na access to and maybe bedru amayanya some challenges like this. Now, such challenge in this year, what is the other alternative for you as people? So, in now kind of digitization, nobody is blaming Baumia or Akufo-Addo, say on an internet outage. No, but the fact remains, this digitalization mantra, you projected to a certain level. Baumia trying to create an impression that internet on the inventor. Did we ever sat down be say some your friend is saying analysis I be saying say a situation like this what is the alternative because and we all know the internet is indispensable in every aspect say internet is shut down a day the commercial impact on the businesses and is so huge. Say it unlocking a lot of people out of business, especially Uber for these are young people trying to make a living. But because of this challenge, ask yourself, say, crime bands or survival within this particular time. So the impact is huge. So as a I see digitalization, you look at the other alternative because wires and lay cables and anything can happen. And this is not the first time I witness some of these short outage around the world. So when you envisage such a possibility to see. So what is the alternative? So the digitalization then we look for an alternative, a backbone, just like this satellite way. America and other places. Quite recently, Verizon in America. They had the same challenge, like internet connectivity, but challenge. But they had a backbone. The satellite link then as for available. When you challenge now, it's easy to switch on. The reason why people don't want to rely solely on satellite is because we volatility near man and shut stable because weather no crash it may affect the internet. So over here DSTV the very moment so satellite link they are not reliable as compared to fiber way but you have it as an alternative. And the digitalization drive then as a for you ask yourself say and share ben ye di gu akwan say enema say you got your quad digital alternative problem say by your switch. There was absolutely nothing. Internet digitalization isn't about say
you know say no be hold on kakra ma me na ye twa ye ho abasisi a me ba cho say ba ye wa letter be from the office of the president afa ye LGBTQ+ one bill no the uncle obe assent ye be back on that issue but innocent be we on internet no na ni so we ne there on internet no then get me about this particular document every presidency what about.
Sure, so the American says so you can't digitalization in as for rest on the kind of digital infrastructure because it is the infrastructure and I will leverage for whatever services will be. So you ask yourself say, over the years now you rely on these telecos and as for and even telecos no cables no your model your cable your fancy network operators are no a high to this network. So whenever there is a problem MTN until say this cable operators I main one other way no so it's a chain. So as a country, when else we make sure say we make the provisions. Yet here internet outage in your mind, Chrome had internet connectivity. Net saying this your friend saying network operators, quite better now buying air shop more kits so provide the internet am I as we speak. Internet an article. What the one when your message on your phone say data now we I spy. So just a regulatory mechanism, nothing is in place. I making sure say I buy no and making sure say services are rendered to people, sabi abuba papa. Always and always, it is about politics. And do we have the whole vice president? Now I call Lanche app. Na Ghana for the and digitalization. Yes, mobile money interoperability. When it's a platform that is existing in Africa, some of the countries already are hooking on. So when you have the infrastructure, that is when you are able to hook on to all these things. Sabia provide the services and so forth. But and click it to us. Say a time will come such a situation will emerge, and that is the need for us to build the backbone. Saying digitalization, of course, you know, and your backbone, and anka we see you know, say there is a satellite connection. Afena. You best switch on to as we deal with the challenge and as for me problem I when you know this reactionary approach. Look at the media landscape. Internet outage in the buy and look at the reaction of even some people as if say such a thing will ever happen. But it's possible because internet but you always bridge yourself against some of these things by building an alternative. So if we sit in the studios today and ask ourselves a Sabaya situation abase no yebetnya na even asinu kran hye ben na aban de agu ho making sure say data kakra na aba no sabi nipa betimya use because awobeka ya covid by no some of the major platform like Netflix your friend is saying YouTube up to now omo bandwidth na so for omo reduce to the stand say so internet no low still we are able to access those platforms. There are still government platforms with this network you cannot even access. So how are we making sure say the bandwidth will be here to go into that platform no you reduce sabaya Ghana and betimiya say it's very difficult to even go to YouTube and follow your friends on Facebook to do streaming and other platforms because the bandwidth are still high and network they I don't know answer them so these are measures as a minister way things will come on stream you do sabaya amount for any because everything in Ghana is in danger especially the financial sector banks as for one year careful by this time our internet will form a hundred fraud activities high amount for will delve into amount for account one way when you na usika 7 as for basa because the network air down the various firewall now you built in terms of security to protect accounts and as for if you are not fortunate some of them will go down and they go down or you give access unfettered access to criminals who are in this cyber security space and apart from say a cripple business and as for so I think that we need to move beyond politics now you're making sure say we are investing significantly in digitalization lay infrastructure Ghana will not have to rely. That is why I find it a joke when we come and sit in the studios and say we are a sovereign nation, independent country, whatever. Today, I want to supply internet, because of ABCD, internet. We are doomed. There is absolutely nothing. Because it will interest you to know, the whole of this Africa has a visa. We've not been able to even create certain interconnectivity among ourselves. So on our own, no, you better rely on a certain and answer ye project a particular satellite. I know and serve yen enti and yet why western nasa fornum aircon. Say bus here and say internet connectivity no katia. You can't do anything global space in your cattle out, but net my say medicine nasa fornum every single area piano. You need internet access and internet connectivity to be able to remain significant. And the medical research as for hospital, because I say of course impact be na enya or so commerce ne other areas ne nyina about cripple the economy and where space ya yomia. Already Ghana's economy is in distress. Kwanya ye first year struggle and ade we ba beka ho a yes 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or no ebe kwa we no. Now you see, say never be brasai, but we are government, we are serious. You some of these things, you know, we build the buffers, you know, before and some situation. You see, but and I'm saying reactionary people, you know, yet and I didn't see we are. Then everybody on the media space, the government, and as for we are just running around. So we have circular air around there. Government has no absolute control over what is happening. That is why NCA as for issue statement. The statement they are issuing is based on cable providers, you know, the kind of exactly. Even MTN cannot even provide us any reliable information because they are not working on the cables. Because Monsono, Ebedru Port Hana, they connect and they provide us services. So services in us uncle for no a provider my no and a challenge in the war. Government cannot do anything. But there was a situation like Yanson yet me yes such investment. Maybe your friends at satellite in us because Elon Musk a launch in the star we are about Kumasi. Oko Nigeria a deliver internet mobile and challenge by some of them will rely on a buyer. Now, because minister wanted to protect a particular interest in, you know, you monopolize it at the amount your friends and network no and say we will not allow other your friends market operators to come because a bar competition in as a forum scarce omunya but we in the power of Ghana for one. You always be thinking about alternative, no making sure say provisions are available. But I know money na yet my services are more provided my and yet some of these network now you say Vodafone tell us better take over. Ask yourself say the kind of your improvement ben and on the bus or the eba beka ama akodru level asabi amanfo be hu so mo competitive. Some of the network also switch to a would mean for nyahwe wuto data nasa and I make a choice 3 days ago meto one of the data no be mentimi for nyahwe na no me wan send me message say spy exactly. So you have a communication minister, an arrogant woman who goes around throwing jabs and as a forum. This is a space for her to sit down, reason as a human being. Now I'm projecting to the future. I said Dabi there is the need for us to learn. Digitalization, Dr. Baumia, the number of the bottom once for Henry Deans and Munanam. It is about the digital infrastructure because I don't know about leverage to provide the services. It's not about just lip services here and I'm not digitalization, internet, every single thing we are useless. So what is the kind of digitalization I will come and providers no shut down on cable so internet no hefa so what me build the buffer an alternative I bet me switch it on bet me reliable because countries like Russia and as for why they tell people they are independent. They say when they come to some of these internet infrastructure and so forth, they have their own. America and the other way you cannot interfere because I told the idea I know they know or bet me rely on non-quankers and space or alternative for bet me but these countries, you know, apart from here build the fiber, they have other alternatives. Even in America, some of them are still using those copper wire connections. And as for it becomes an alternative. I'm for about 3 alternatives. By any day, government is doing absolutely nothing to ensure say at least my internet connectivity is saying if you regional capitals in Ifluma go around Accra and who data be as Ghana statistics service say internet penetration in Ghana is around 60-something%. You are jokers. What one more kind of internet connectivity will Chroma 60%. Even pass of Accra Haya and Kasaka. Baby, I met some of the network in Ukraine. You are and you are baby, I'm not fancy. Say, I'll be from here to make a you have done a wrong number. Yes. Internet we free man. Even mobile network man Kasaka challenge. And I digitalization people need a reliable and high speed internet to be able to do whatever that they want to do because people are living in Ghana, they are working in America, people are working around the globe. It doesn't matter your location because you have safe internet and I'll have a for aircraft 5G and as for at least you're making sure say render service at a certain level, but I know be a na abaya politics and a nam na ye.
Ni? Yes. medical mechia soon for Villaggio also Michia homeboy Ciao Mr. Sante or Cabinet very strong supporters for the movement for change. You see,
movement for change.
Movement for change, yes. You be doing one call next week.
I never thought.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Come on next.
That's what me woman, and maybe a class prefect.
Standard. I'm saying from next week.
Yes.
Yes. You see, straight to the issue.
Okay.
Internet issue, it's not surprising. So, we team communication for a very long time on the same platform. I can say, before you can digitalize, I say one casa own platform.
Yeah.
Because also your telecommunications systems is in the hands of private companies. And as a private companies and yet locally owned companies, they are foreign companies. It's in Makase. If we build the entire economy on a foreign platform, the day Omu shut down operations, what happens to the economy of Ghana? And if you want to know how clueless leaders have been since the beginning of the so-called Fourth Republic, Titi, there has not been anyone who has done anything concerning owning any space of our economy. Not thinking about how we can own it ourselves. In Sicily, whole Ghana does not have a telecoms company. You need airline, you need shipping company, and we had all these things before. In Sicily, you ask, what does Ghana actually own? Then I always say, what do we own? There's nothing. And you see, that's the level of cluelessness that these people have. But social advanced economies, two most important things are let me make even three. Ensure electricity and energy. Energy would include your petrol, diesel, Nissan Yamano. These three things can actually bring down an entire country. You see, because of technology, the telecommunications and internet swap account, because almost all economies right now, advanced economies are running on the internet. And today it is ensure energy, electricity, and your telecommunications and internet. These are very four sensitive regions. In social and economy like America, omunya doomsong. So omunya doomsong na a periodic shutdown for maintenance, and I say fault be about baby. But America has invested heavily in nuclear power. I know it doesn't go off; it is perpetual. Yes. But apart from investing in nuclear energy, they make sure say it is a high security priority. They just say you'll be surprised say you find American soldiers guarding those security installations 24/7. Because someone said the very day those things go offline, the entire America becomes exposed.
Then you call guard a hospital can and would a chunk where near soldier for go.
Titi, me say national security, sensitive national security installations. Ghana hire the butcher scale. It will make doom light to say table tennis. No, and these are very. But in Ghana we joke with those things, and yeah, security priority. Yes, it will me 2 pipe 2 weeks. Almost a month now, there's no water. But in certain jurisdictions, say light off with water for just 30 minutes. It's a very serious national issue. Yes, but in Ghana, you find yourself where normal thing because you're doing light and like what does it mean? Yes. An arm of government in parliament or chamber where it's say your government system has 3 arms. Parliament is an arm of government. Parliament chamber light off. People get stuck in the elevator. And I said this last week, sir. In every elevator, security measures be the automatic response device. We fix all those things to lift. And to say your man light off in poor, you can't get stuck in the elevator. And they will be called next level or the next step. Yes. But this shows the cluelessness of the nation. But I want to give a certain backdrop. Internet connectivity as somewhere and new thing. For a very long time, now it was very expensive to make calls even in Ghana. The whole Africa, but particularly in Ghana. And see, the reason for this is sometimes in Africa, you need your own telecommunications network. You need satellite in Sanyamano. And see, so Uber call from Ghana to Nigeria and Poa. And says I call US on satellite and so. Now I rerouted the call to Nigeria. And see, it became very expensive. And see, in 1994, 45 African nations almost back together, almost for network be a firm Rascom. It was a regional satellite communications network. 45 African nations back together, say Africa, satellite for our calls and all those things. Yes. Sika na to buy the satellite to own it. Now $400 million. But before then, every year you're spending about $500 million for calls and internet in Africa. Yetuyama US for more satellite. That was Intelsat. And see, in 2007, Gaddafi, that was former president of Libya, Omoko AU meeting, and Gaddafi said, because the cost of the satellite to buy it and own it is $400 million. Me Gaddafi made it $300 million. But to for Onua Maakye, no, the rest of the African leaders should contribute the $100 million so we can go and buy our own satellite infrastructure. And indeed, Gaddafi paid $300 million as a first installment for the payment of this thing. Titi himself, African countries were not able to put up the monies. And see, it was through the ADB. The subsidy, ADB and one other bank, maybe another bank, but it was two other banks that came to support. But Gaddafi alone paid $300 million out of the $400 million. And I had the toy satellite. It's from 2007. Africa had their own satellite for calls and internet. One man paid $300 million, more than half the cost. Fast forward, Russia and China who said, no, this is a very good investment opportunity. And in 2010, almost to tour another satellite, the chair said we use this on partnership basis.
Yeah.
And see, and you can pick up your phone and make calls to say, yes, you can call any country and everything. This was made possible first by Gaddafi in 2007. 2010, Russia and China also stepped in to make those investments to help us get a second one. And see, for a very long time, now you're running on the satellite system. But with advanced technology in this Anyaman, we realized that the fiber optic cable was the way to go. Now, mind you, the person who even invented this fiber optic cable, no, Ghanaian. And here, Bruni, no, Ghanaian who invented that fiber optic cable thing, yes. Now, Yehun said that's the way to go. People started investing in that one. Yeah. But we still have the satellite infrastructure, yes. And see, sensible leaders who are visionary and thinking futuristically, Omo said, we came from a certain place where we were using a satellite system, which we managed to own two of them. Yeah. But you see, I know you are calling into the space of the fiber optic cable. What investments are we making towards that space? Say, you better own your own fiber optic cables. And see, we had gotten that thing, no. See, there were, and yet the whole world, then yes, our internet issues, no. And your selected countries be affected, but those other people who had their own system and their own networks, no, they were not affected by this. And see, any sensible nation will be thinking, say, how can we get our own system? Because it's a national security issue. Yeah. And see, how can we get our own so we can protect it and bypass some of these problems? But you see, they're not thinking futuristically. Let's say, communications minister or command some speech or conference just a few days ago. And I'll say, this is a blessing in disguise. Say, this is actually going to prompt us to make investments in owning our own infrastructure. And I was surprised. How can this be a blessing in disguise? So, the number of people our Mojuma say because of this thing, how can you call this a blessing in disguise? And I don't blame them. In any proper nation, within 24 hours, outages in the internet would have had a complete analysis of the thing and you better briefly the citizens. Saying about this is the extent of the damage. We've lost this amount of revenue and all those things. But these are the steps we're making in repairing and answering remedial actions to prevent this from happening again. Over 24 hours, we've not had any briefing from government. The minister didn't brief Ghanaians or command speech with another program. Yeah. But it was only NCA that tried to address the issue. But that's not the official government communication piece. What's the Minister of Communication doing? But it's like I'm saying, we're not in a serious country. In fact, this thing's as a joke, but it's a national security threat. Because imagine, sir, the economy has been digitized. We've put it on a digital space. Yeah. This outage has happened. This is a very good loophole for hackers to hack your system. In Tanzania, lights never back out. So you'd have realized, say, Ghana would have lost half of the economy to fraudsters. This is a real security threat. But your friend said it's not any big deal because, I mean, I mean, such cluelessness. No, but this is serious business. This is serious business. Nation building is not a joke. But we've unfortunately put people who are clueless and incompetent in positions of power, and they are running this country as and how they see fit. But you see, to wrap up my point on this, I'll make my appeal again to the youth of Ghana. Me say, Titi, the youth of Ghana form over 60% of the population, the general population. Yeah. So after the last election, over 60% of the voter turnout happened to be youth. You say in Ghana, so we winning elections are only 50 plus 1. Plus 1. And she said youth form over 60%. Nature said the day all the youth in Ghana will come together and have one mind, one voice, and say, you be voting manipa way. That is an automatic victory of over 60% of the votes. Me say the day the youth of Ghana be back together, Yabeka said this is the person we want to vote for, with the numbers which is over 60% of the voter population. We can bypass that 50+1 and make whoever we decide to make the leader of Ghana immediately the leader of Ghana. This is the power that the youth have. But the first thing they say you're back together as one block, as youth of Ghana. And we can make this happen. They say this year is an election year. You try both parties. You try the MPP, the NDC. They've shown that there's nothing they can do and offer Ghanaians. The question many people are asking is, so who is the alternative? Hold on a little. We say the alternative is coming, it has arrived, it is here with us. But the first thing we need to do before the alternative can surface, and they say the youth of Ghana have to come together as one unit, as one block, the youth of Ghana, to make sure we'll fight for the interest of Ghana, which is the primacy of everything else. Titi, thank you very much.
Okay, me Daniel say, me sure say your top is too yakai. You want me to justice with it because Nimi and now say here say you to me a discuss say na sana yebe kwa yako. Me catch us say Office of the President documents be free aba. But before that, Ivan, say you back kana ya me help wanamwa. Yeah, I'm a hope. Yeah, but yeah, no, so see, your time need be car. We will discuss that particular one. But my name is a producer. Bet me at the documents in out to Swamamia. Just a minute, they read it through. Na who someone one more eka and to wait Office of the President. Office of the President. Mamin Danina say, you know, Samo. Ban and Yabasano. Okay. It's a document from the Office of the President. Transmission of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. It has come to the attention of this office that while the president and other senior officials of the presidency were at Peduasi for the cabinet retreat on Thursday, 14th of March, 2024, you attempted, because there are some clauses in it, and the motive behind this document. You attempted to submit the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024 into brackets the bill to Jubilee House for the president to signify his assent or otherwise to the bill. This office is aware of 2 pending applications for an order of interlocutory injunction, both filed on 7th March 2024 in the Supreme Court in Dr. Amanda Odoi, the Speaker of Parliament, and the Attorney General, and here one suit, and the last Richard Sky. Now, the Parliament of Ghana and the Attorney General, respectively, to restrain you and Parliament from transmitting the bill to the President, and also to restrain the President from signifying his assent to the bill, pending the final determination of the matter. The Attorney General has by letter dated 18th of March 2024 informed the President that he has been duly served with both applications and has advised the President not to take any step in relation to the bill until the matters raised by the suit are determined by the Supreme Court. It is the understanding of this office that both applications have also been duly served on Parliament. Therefore, it will be improper for you to transmit the bill to the President and equally improper for this office to receive the bill. There are 2 things there. Take notes. It will be improper for you to submit to us, and it will be improper for us to also receive. It is unnecessary to receive the bill until the Supreme Court determines the matters raised in the suit. Indeed, it is settled law that during the pendency of the interlocutory injunction application, the status quo ought to be preserved, and no action should be taken that would result in prejudicing the injunctive relief sought and undermining the authority of the courts. In the circumstances, you are kindly requested to cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the president until the matters before the Supreme Court are resolved. Best wishes, Nana Bediako Asante. Bediatu Asante, Secretary to the President, copied the clerk to Parliament House, Accra. So the Vice President, Jubilee House, Chief of Staff, Jubilee House, Attorney General and Minister for Justice, and the Majority Leader, Parliament House. Yena omo akope womo attention Mr. Cyril K.O. Insia the one document ni so bia ma yire me ho say maka ne pepepe eti brofo na me kan de nini Ivan omo ti ase Ivan
I think you see letter no it's a pack of rubbish. Oh yes, it's rubbish. And we don't need to waste time on this. You see, we've gotten to a point, I think, President Akufo-Addo, the level of disrespect or war for the people of Ghana, no, sometimes it's quite amazing. And the level of dishonesty in the discharge of his duty as president, is so annoying. And sometimes, what's in China, we will be reasonable, watching everything from a distance, and you ask yourself, say, do these people really respect the people of Ghana at all? The answer is no. So, say you confer a very disrespectful, arrogant people who do not respect the people. This is the kind of outcome I will be. Yeah, so we will fear I mean Kaiwa there. Okay, Abraham, I had your friend saying, levy ever.
Yeah.
Similar suit was filed at the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
The president went ahead because I am with the conviction in the exercise of his discharge as a president of the republic, no court can stop him from exercising that mandate.
Yeah.
And as a sign we know the implementation of the act, then the court can put an injunction until the matter is resolved. In the discharge of his duty as president, court cannot stop president. The same way a court cannot stop parliament from doing ajuma oye say oye now free say you roll it out now our consequences are everything affect your man for then you put an injunction on it. That is why that particular your friend say say roll na ya chiche no come friend say separation of powers. So the president had demonstrated clearly say in the case na ya 11 or to me a conso at the point I file suit he went ahead so obekaya abra electoral commission and making sure say yenye registration at district offices your friends say mama be catch us or the date na share bottom corner political party file a suit and challenging that particular exercise. What happened? At the end of the day, the electoral commission went ahead and did what they were supposed to do because Okachi said, on the mandate is on timeline. And this we not a court no disregard it. They went ahead and did whatever that they did. Even court date or they told us about TA case, now your registration exactly. So you see, we cannot just reduce our judicial system because Okachi said that is the last point when we lose its essence, you lose the essence of our judiciary. Everybody will come along unto himself. That is why there is this emergence that people prefer court because they don't trust our judicial system. And I think that is the level creeping into your political landscape. You are not careful, we may lose this particular republic. You see, that I say, if you look at the kind of debt, the economic mess Akufo-Addo creating, and where we find ourselves so far as this economy is concerned, there is no way the president can sign to this bill. So is this a way all year just to ensure that time no be elapse? Then go away and that responsibility will pass on to whoever become president. And that is a kind of game or play. But me, I'm a president. Now me just sign the bill now. I will look you straight into your face and tell you, say, I'm not going to sign it. Straightforward. You see, it's always good to be playing with people. Tell them and give out your reasons.
Yeah.
You tell them, and now say you think there are other aspects. Now, free say I go on toward that. Then you can call on Parliament to go back and do that particular amendment. And as a reservation, call to the leave it to them to do the other thing. You are a president. No law stop you from doing what you're doing. We are not a call to this it implementation. Even a harmful effect. They can put injunction on it implementation.
Because what we know is the court interprets the law.
Exactly.
And this is a bill. It's not yet a law.
That is why Mr. T and say the level of dishonesty. They do not respect the people of Ghana. And oh, you're surprised. Leadership now, you want leaders are. Abranta one friend Dr. UNT because it's a flask. Then I say for at the moment. Catch them so our domo. Dr. UN, we will be serious. When you born a sense of credit, say on free UN. Oh, it's true. Now say I will be a compensate people. Oh,
what's when you born out and say a children free?
Yes, I say we free UN. This guy is able to convince leaders, parliamentarians, soldiers, your first top musicians, and then I say for them, say, oh, come on, one word, now sound like Kokwaja, dear way. I dream by the whole team, whatever Tanakuma, so do
Johnny GBU.
What's that?
His GBU.
No, I don't have any issue with them. But you see, at the top level, we are talking about Mpanimfo. I had it to me and show Monsa. We are very serious person. Now, a branch with him Kofatwa at 2020 home at Chamamo. You have no locus playing president. That is what I'm telling you. I don't know what from no. A woman mona yehu. That is what I'm telling you. I don't know. Our form no. A woman more and a woman ya. Man said it. Very serious. Because the very moment I saw the guy on TV, I saw the yes idea, and I said, ah wow, because uhuna, you begin to ask yourself a lot of questions as to really offer you an empire. Because yes.
Hey, you're right. As somebody can very serious now.
Yeah, it's true. You see, when I'm a person, I pay attention to small detail. And on the money part, we are very we can peep and make those kind of way. I'm sure so will give us time a bit. Because So the seriousness of the matter, the level of thinking, our form. And who so where priority exists, people will look down. Papa may his soul rest in peace.
John Kuma.
Yet you could see multi-billion-dollar your friend saying party office our way. Then look at the state of the hospital. He never ever in his wider imagination ever thought to say or baby who are a suhum no moten beko.
Yeah.
But at the end, that is where he went. And Yaa Titi so I said there is the need for us to medical infrastructure and as for young pejano, we are nipanas or adwene ultima. Now na Captain Smart can say be. Or say we nim nyansa no we greedy. Say when young man for yanom because yakasa yedede yama ho. Because a time will come, you can't even pick your passport. Some minister may fly out there.
Yeah.
A time will come, you cannot even sit in a taxi. You see, I dream of from and you didn't say you no opportunity. We are better than other people.
Yeah.
But leadership is not about you being better. It is about empowering people. That is why I sit here and tell people say you can't leadership. But the greatest achievement is to invest in people. It's not about I'm a sit down and I'm not dying to say or dying no this way. I will see a folk because you are the you invest in human, not properties in that. But where we are supposed to ensure say we elevate people, build the necessary infrastructure. Sabaya ebit meja edin, adentina da bia te bon kromadin, adan kroma or Damien sao in Legon. Was it in the cars, then the car where they can't no see the museum. But the guy a level legacy that transcends beyond generation. And ye bonidin or babe bonidin, me babe bonidin, sir, because one an imprinter, now or you're selfless.
Yeah.
Near man as Oriano when we are or make sure or invest in the future. As set up companies, make sure he set up Tema as an industrial city. People go there and fight for state land. And now analysis from 92. Landa, a man for Ria Okrumba. Now near to Kumasi, and I said Babia, police, your friends, medical doctors, you're two because you're torn assassino. In Sassin, you're torn in your Okrumba because Yabano, who ye, Sabaya, when people see us, they will think that we are better than other people. But leadership is about empowering people. That is all that leadership. That is why I keep telling people say the basic attribute of being here to be a leader is empathy. So we need you have no business playing president. If it is about money, you think people are talking about money. Because you kasika and go Obama and as for no mayor president do you come about people who have positive intuition to the future. They have ideas on betting ya build the kind of sabe ya nipa be. That is our name, because Yatiana you're proud you're independent, you're inside bill in America today. Because of a cantino, or sign bill name, over that could sign. That is why finance minister wrote that particular letter. What do because America over there, some of the states, same-sex marriage is illegal at the state level. But he's telling you, say, don't legalize it. In sovereignty, but we have sold our birthright, we have sold our sovereignty, we have sold our dignity. There is nothing left in the name of the Ghana you'll be proud of, because Ghana shining star. We need to be wise. The thinking level of a penny for no moon racy, na greed, na a blind amount for Nyansa, a crack into who penny TV so Casasa crack. Can't send no gumsa. Nyansa, your problem, Kumasi.
Nyansa, your problem.
Nii, yeah, Titi. Bill, when I said confusion be about around the bill, and see, people don't really understand what you're talking about. The bill, no, and yes, say you pass a bill, no, it means you're LGBT are too moderate.
Oh yeah.
The bill is actually trying to criminalize LGBT Q plus. And see, if the president signs it, then it means oh yes, I'm going to be actual. But say one sign, then it means those people are free to operate. That's what people have to understand. But if you say president pass a bill, no, he has legalized LGBT. Say that's a confusion I've picked up from the populace. Yes, and see, passing the bill about criminalizing LGBTQ and those activities. Say oh yes, Anyamano, you bet chill. But the president's not sign, then it means those things are still allowed. You can do whatever you want to. But you see, the main issue about all of this, no, it is not. There were 3 arms of government, right?
Yeah.
Now, the only part of SAR 3 arms are a near representative of the people, a judiciary. I'll say this again. The only part of the 3 arms of government that is not representative of the people, the judiciary. Because executive, no, you're too about the president. You're too about the parliamentarian, yes. But we don't vote to elect our judiciary. The judiciary is appointed by the president. Into NIPA 9 are solely responsible for the interpretation of the law on all of us our behalves without our consent. It's very problematic. It's a very, very dangerous precedence. And I've said, Matinase argument on governance and all this, but nobody has raised this issue.
Yeah.
So the most powerful arm of government, which is the judiciary, the interpretations of the so-called law we have in Ghana, no, it is not representative of the people.
Yeah.
It is the president who appoints the members of the judiciary. But they are the ones who can tell you to say, you understand? So much power has been put in certain few people. 9 people. But these 9 people do not represent the people of Ghana because we've not given them our mandate. It is delegated authority where it has been delegated to them, which is not law. And see, one of the things we've been pushing for is say new constitution, no? We have to restructure every single part of our governance system, including the judiciary. So we cannot 30 million people be ruled in the judiciary by 9 people who don't represent us or who we've not given a mandate to represent us. It's very dangerous. And what can happen is if those 9 people decide to choose a certain path, which is different from what Yang has
30 million
decided, this is what we want. No? Those 9 people can actually sidestep all 30 million people's opinions or views and do what they think is right, which is very
Lolo Bini Akpafu basically nominate representative for parliament.
The 8th parliament of the 4th republic has been the most criminal one of all the parliaments. Because how do you run when 4 main areas don't have representation in parliament? But you're taxing all those people. And they forgot and said it was taxation without representation. And America caused civil war. Yes, but I say sensitive issues that can really break nations. No Ghana, the day ago. Yeah, the day ago. But this is a very serious issue. So we have to look again at our governance structure, particularly with the judiciary. Say, if governance democracy is by representation of the people, then we cannot run a system or an arm of government which is solely by appointment by someone we've given delegated authority to, and also are delegating the authority to those people. It is wrong. Judiciary has to be representative of the people. So the people have to have a direct say into who becomes what, particularly in the judiciary. Then laws that have been decided by the people say, those people cannot go and give a different interpretation or yes, interpretation of those laws that be different from what the aspirations and hopes of the people are. It's something we have to look at very carefully.
Okay.
But to wrap up on this thing, what is my stance on the LGBTQ thing? Titi, what two consenting adults decide to do in the bedroom is none of our business. Again, what two consenting adults decide to do in the privacy of their bedroom is not our business. We cannot use national time we discuss national issues to decide what people do in their bedrooms. However, if that activity is not consensual, then it's not a right, it is a crime. I said this again. If those activities between adults or whoever is involved is not consensual, then it means it's a crime that is being committed. And every crime must be dealt with according to the laws as they are. That I'm for it. But I'm saying, say, what two consenting adults decide to do in the privacy of their bedrooms is not our business. You and I are not there to go and watch them and see what they are doing. But I'm saying, let us not waste our time, which we can use for how we can deliberate and build our nation. Let's not spend that time deliberating on what people do in their bedrooms. Yeah. But however, if that act is not consensual, in the consensual year will mean if it's being done with a minor, and as it will be in 18 years and so on all those things, then it becomes a crime. And if it becomes a crime, the laws of Ghana are very clear on what crimes are and how to deal with those crimes. But let us not waste our time on petty stuff. There are very serious issues we should deal with as a nation. Going forward, Ghana doesn't have the luxury to be dealing with this mediocrity, Debbie. And to this time, we need leaders who are level-headed, who can bring up national discourse on that level. You bet to me how far I drink, say, this is what we want Ghana to be in the next 5-10 years. And move to those.
Okay.
Thank you.
I agree with you, some parts.
Right.
But because at the way the ama me were interest for building.
Right.
You know why? What's it?
Consenting adults.
Consenting adults are doing in their bedroom is none of our business.
Yes, because you need to know. Yes.
You need to be here in the bedroom.
Right.
But the ama issue now issues say they are trying to promote it.
You can't force your thing on someone.
That is our point right now.
Yes.
Because whatever somebody is doing in his or her room, no,
it's your
yes. But so be so what you say? The way your bedroom ne fan home. But unfortunately on my side, some me ba before down for now the new bedroom where me ni woni bi. Now ko introduce Saade na. Now me kwaya number.
Then you're training.
Yeah.
No, it's not matter this time. It's not a matter of training your child.
Titi,
training wo ba.
Titi, but you don't know who your children are going to. But you don't know who your children are going to.
That is where we are now.
You find say illicit drugs, right? It is illegal to use certain drugs in Ghana, but people are using it, and you don't know.
And that's why it's criminal when we catch you.
But people are using it. I'm saying, baby, so you as a parent, you have to make sure you train your children so that they don't engage in certain practices because you won't go everywhere with your children.
Chikasa, you can't be say, you can't simple. One will babonia, what's the word you wouldn't batete. Where I told you, and your parents and inform so. Why yet was so oh ye be? Do you know, sir? Now say ya near ya one. Can you call no crown on the chram quadana diano? No more introduce one indirectly in the school.
I said this, if you do it in your bedroom, it's not my business. But
as for me, if you do it in your bedroom, if you don't do it anywhere, it is my consent. Because at the end of the day, you get sick, you will take your to our hospital. Go and occupy our bed.
I'm saying, sir, if it is done in the privacy of your bedroom, that is your business. But if you come out and you're trying to promote it, say, we should accept it, that you cannot force me to accept that. It's that's where the line is drawn. But I'm saying, say, you and I are there. But we don't know.
I'm not disputing what you are saying.
But don't come outside and force say,
that is our point.
No, so
and I say, we are dining at Chihuahua. Punishment is say people take advantage of it.
I would like us to spend that energy on corruption.
It should be regulated. We cannot live in like that.
If you engage in corruption, it should be a capital punishment. I wish we would champion this. Say anybody who is corrupt in this country, particularly government appointees, if you are corrupt in your court, it should be a capital punishment. We should rather focus on that energy on these people.
I know the law now or that.
But so we can pass the law for this one to then actually say
but at least it puts some fear in some people.
Corrupt people are not scared though.
What do you say? Democracy, you build it on value system. constitution bia or mind bia will be no the values.
Yeah.
Some which me kind of culture and as for you try to infuse a
some of it. Yeah.
Yes. And the amount as unique identity. And you have culturally, exactly. This is the kind of thing we don't want it.
Yes.
So as people, if collectively we've come to the conclusion, say, or some consensus among us, and with the bipartisan approach that was used to pass this thing, across way, I think that should be the final point.
Exactly.
And you see, exposure, no, is very dangerous. There is this argument. Primary school, you hear this argument, nature and nurture. No. I can sit here and tell you, say, about 90% of criminals around the world are criminal because of nature. There is no gene that will be a criminal. No, yes. That is why America, prison. There was a research one day. I will share the finding with you. Majority of criminals or America, jail no, but no jail no. On free foster home, children's home, and I said, oh no, being a tenant. Do you know why? At that early stage, they were treated as candidates. Only affection, love, and those kind of things. They were not exposed to. So they grow. Life is a competition for them. So when that children grow now, to them, a struggle for survival. What you see, say, the bone, no, the mind, because growing up, the kind of exposure, no. So, sexual orientation at the early stage, you try to orient people to this thing. You see, that is why I'm saying that we need to go beyond this, day.
Yeah.
Because today, go to Netflix. Every single movie out there has a component of gay or lesbianism.
Even cartoons. Cartoons now your money when crisis.
So
we are very critical. So this time around, some manager cartoons I pay attention to the particular content no more.
Yeah, so
because some of them you could see cartoon Bema and another cartoon Bema and they will be hugging. Now one smart kakrabia.
So what are some Nikano? So in a way they are trying to normalize it. When the mind gets exposed to certain things and normalize it. So I know the day who's more you grow with it and this is it's a normal thing. So law must move to a certain extent that you ever target those things as well. Because you may have the law because your friend is saying corruption is illegal. But every day corruption is possible. So you need to move beyond it. That is why I'm very much concerned about even movies we show on our TV stations. Yeah. How are we infusing our culture into the music, into the movie? Any music now, because the globalization, this Western culture are dominating all over. Oba kisi oba, bema kisi or it's becoming normal. How do we move on? Your culture or if your torture and I him for two galam say, or what I do they your culture sem. I him for two galam say ukroma your tons say, or what I do they culture. And movies for for commercial sake. Nobody is regulating the system. And no YouTubers have been some huna kosono. Obia tenancy put together also
sexualization.
Anything nobody is regulating the system. So we are going berserk. A time will come. Just mark it somewhere. So we need to move beyond the rhetorics. This kind of now you're making sure say we all don't want it because Christians, Muslims, whoever, but what are we doing to ensure say the infiltration of this material and for air try to normalize it for our kids, how are we taking care of? Now we build a law that's look at a very narrow aspect. Now we said no be bedroomer. You might not want to see what is happening. When you not damage. So let us target the root cause. Now you're dealing with. Now you do that point, and I think that this is a level of education and ministers in as for Yashas you projected. But yet when you play crocodile the John with Ghanaians, playing on the minds of people. I think we need to get serious in this country. And the clergy is in the traditional way, What level? Education sensitization ben say is it here. I listen to one gospel musician I say already the LGBT because of his followers on social media and so forth. You see that kind of staggering hypocrisy. So I think we need to move beyond. Now you see by president signing that particular.
I think the president can sign it. Or the Supreme Court's back delay process now, then he's saying it'll be over, and then he goes on. But he can sign it.
One message who say better sign.
He can sign it.
Yeah, many for.
He can sign it, yeah.
Okay, Pacho, the best yana your time and your sanka you discuss here for the Yami Adam say next week, you your time. But one just a minute comment on it.
Oh, one minute. Say fashion the call Kumasi innocent.
What are they?
Yeah, the ship.
Mo de ship kokuma.
Yeah, I will say that be a catcher say when we come here and we say people say NDC nye MPP nye deben. It doesn't mean say anybody can just
come out.
You see, we need to get serious in this country. You see, Ghana for ahuniema bebrea, they just want out. So if you are have a debia person with the convince Ghana for, we should be serious about it. But my catcher say people in the middle, we don't see any serious person. Some are shopping for attention. Some are just jokers. Some are just want to be seen in as a forum because near money as a foreign and your proper organization they won the elections. So, no. We see Kwame Nkrumah back room. I say, just give me a minute. Kwame Nkrumah back room, man. I'm going to find a buy. UGCC for no more than a catcher and say voter region north and Kahon and they're concentrating on your organization. But Nkrumah as a visionary source say Ghana is independent. The inclusion of north and that particular part, so he was sneaking out to do organization at that particular level. It took years to organize. How can you just pop up and I say within the election year just NDC and MPP are established political institutions? You think you can just use few months because Ghanaians are complaining? I think we need to get serious. And a message, you know, we should cook it in such a way, say, about some clear message. I'm 40 or say, so me desert me and this and I me desert me MPP and I may go for the alternative, but the alternative is better. But if the alternative is a joke, you think people will say their party?
I'm innocent. Yeah, dredge the sea, a prono, and ya kotoku mase. Near Timia ship when Yama. Now,
I think the babu one say on high will be a communication better because every time you have an interview, I think vote when you want or test half. Oh, yes, I'm telling you. Because it's better over high will be a. You see, communication will be how you good. So you can hire somebody to speak for you. Because me in most of the interview now, anyway, be a no one who be a exactly. Because I think Kasa not this one people. There are people who are very good when it comes to communication. No one because on one Kasa they
but yeah, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So Utie Nikasa so far, no, there's nothing impressive. Me have said, you see, so he has not been able to put two sentences together. I make sense. Ose Ubabe dredge see no to Kumasi. Dredge ni say Ube Titi ade ni mu. Ube yi mad. How do you say mad? Ateche no. Ube yi ateche no. So how say uko dredge epo? And then that takes a C to Kumasi. You see,
maybe as some professional when you so correct English, but person actually say Obe cha a quine de free apunum na eponat senior copy.
But the cost for that. It may cost efficient to rather build an effective railway system from the harbour straight.
Railway the abache, airport the railway abache.
So you see,
normal in Syoka Ayrton will say flag.